So first let us take design of axially loaded column. We will just take the data, design a column, rectangular or square column. Design a rectangle or square column for the following data: rectangular, square, short column, I say. As I told you, always we will design short column as far as possible for the following data. First, factor load. So this is another thing which you have to remember. Always all nodes, we are adopting limit state method of design for the design of columns. So load should be factored load. Generally we go for dead load and live load. For this dead load and live load combined, so the factor of safety what we use is 1.5. So if you whatever the service load which is there, that we have to multiply by 1.5. If this factor load is given in the problem, straight away I can use it. Otherwise service load is given. If they give the data regarding what is the live load, what is the dead load, what is the floor finish, like that, all individual loads if you given, that all loads you have to club and multiply by that partial factor of safety. That's also given in the code. What should be the partial factor of safety which you use. So you design the here factor load only I will take. So factor load is 3000 kilonewtons. So this is generally denoted by the symbol PU, factor load. Then type of concrete mix is M20. So again, generally we use M15, M20, M25, M30 mix. 4 types of concrete mix and 3 types of steel. Fe415 grade, Fe500 grade, and mild steel also, Fe250 grade. Normally 250 grade nowadays we don't use it, only the other two varieties, 415, that's cold twisted bar or high strength bar. So type of steel Fe415 grade. The moment I say Fe415 grade, this is that yield stress of the steel is 415 Newton per millimeter square. That's the figure which you have to remember. The moment I say it is M20 concrete, that means the characteristic compressive strength of concrete is 20 Newton per millimeter square. These figures already you know. So in other designs that you have to remember always. What is meant by M20 mix? What is Fe415 grade? What is that figure indicates? That indicates in case of steel, it indicates yield strength of that steel in Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, strength of concrete indicates its characteristic compressive strength, that is 28 yield strength in Newton per millimeter square. And of course, length, unsupported length, you can design this particular column for this particular data. Of course, you can see what are the data which is, I told you hitherto, you should know what should be the load coming on the column and what are the type of mix, type of steel. These are all known things to start with. Nothing but using this, you have to design, arrive at suitable cross-section dimension for the column. Height of the column is already known, unsupported height. And the cross-section dimension you have to fix it, and steel you have to arrange, whether parallel to 2 edges, it's all known how many numbers. And ties. If you design that, whether it is subject to only axial load or whether there is moment created, because you are checking for eccentricity, minimum eccentricity as per provision, as I already told. If that is minimum eccentricity is exceeded, then you have to calculate the moment also coming, and for that also we have to design. So in the problem, everything is built in, whether it is subjected to movement, uniaxial movement, biaxial movement, load, everything it can, only with one example you can finish it. So, but you can avoid all those things also by proportioning your sizes. They are all in your hand, suitably you design it. Now, right now, I am making this design, I am doing this design mainly to as axially loaded member and no movement, it satisfies all your minimum eccentricity criteria, everything. Keeping that in mind only, I will work this problem or I will design this thing. Design means only arriving at cross-section dimension and finding the steel and sketching that arrangement perfectly. So first step, what you have to do is, so unsupported length is given 3 meters. So regarding end condition, it is not given. So forget about your effective length concept. When they have not given end conditions in the given problem, forget about that effective length concept and judging whether the column is short or long. Already it has been given as short, automatically it is short now. Forget about long column effect at all. Because long column effect comes into picture only as ratio of effective length to least lateral dimension which you arrive. If it is more than 12, that only you have to check. When the effective length itself is not given, that is only unsupported length is given, end conditions has to be given. If end condition is not given, then so you have to design it as only as short column. Forget about long column effect or slender column effect. That's also called as slender column effect. In code, they specify as slender column, not long column. They say slender column. Slender column means it is long column. L by D ratio or L by B ratio greater than 12. So that is first thing we have to arrive at. The next load is given, this factored load. That also we need not have to make any modification. That also we will see in the problem whether given load is working load or ultimate limit state load, that you have to see. If it is working load, you have to multiply by a suitable partial factor of safety and arrive at that factor load. So here that particular aspect we need not have to bother. So what you do is, so let us adopt, you go for percentage of steel because the dimension you can arrive at only based on the percentage of steel and the load. Here column section nothing is given. If they give this number of bars is there, you just check whether the column is capable of taking. If they ask like that, well, you can take it. In the absence of any other data, so you can assume some percentage of steel because code gives a specific clause. There is a clause in the code that percentage of minimum percentage of steel. This is very, very important. Minimum percentage of steel in column is 0.8% and maximum percentage is 6%. So you can select the percentage of steel in the column only between 0.8% and 6%. That is one of the important clause which is there in IS 456. Keeping that I have not told here. So here we have to find only the geometrical size as well as steel area. Only those two things we have to decide. Regarding the geometrical size, of course, that file aspect will not be coming into picture at all. That is minimum 200 mm as per that, if you see the codal provisions. So that may not be suitable for us. We have to go for more than 200 mm, looking at the magnitude of the load, 3000 kilonewtons. That is around 300 tons. So looking at that magnitude, size of the column has to be more than that minimum size from the file point of view. So that we will forget it. Only the other aspect is this minimum percentage of steel we have to provide. that keep that particular thing in mind. We have minimum, maximum. I will just fix up some suitable figure in between. I told you, anyway, it's a trial and error process. First, I will assume some suitable percentage of steel, then I will revise if it is not suitable further. So, let us adopt 1% of steel in the column. Let us assume that. And since the end conditions are not given, the slenderness ratio criterion makes us to design as short column and not long column, because end condition is not given. In the absence of that, effective length you cannot calculate. So that ratio less than 12 you cannot arrive at. So it has to be a short column. Long column aspect totally it is wider. So when the short column only has to be designed, so you can use that simplified formula given in the code. We have from IS 456 for this particular slender column, PU is given by 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 F5 ASC. This is the formula the code gives for short column subjected to only axial load. This is axial load only, no movement, and these are the type of concrete, type of steel, area of concrete, area of steel to be provided. In terms of that, so this is the formula given in the code. So that you can use it to start with. PU is equal to this. Here ASC is area of steel which is 1% of gross area. So let AG equals gross area of column. So therefore ASC is equal to 0.01 Ag. Right? So we have assumed 1% steel, Ag as the gross area of the column in cross section. Outward side provide a proportion breadth and depth. Ag you can call it as the area. So therefore ASC is in terms of the gross area 0.01 G, and AC is nothing but AG minus ASC. This is also simple calculation. So from the total column cross section, if you subtract the area of steel, you will get the area of concrete. Here AC is area of concrete, excluding the steel. That is given by this. This is nothing but AG into 1 minus 0.01, that is 0.99 Dg. That is your AC. Therefore, and PU, it is given as 3000 kilonewtons. That's given in the problem. and FCK because M20 means it is 20 Newton per millimeter square, and F1 is equal, because it is Fe 415 grade, we have to take it as 415 Newton per millimeter square. These are I have already told. Substitute all these. Therefore, this you convert it into newtons, into 1000 Newton, same units, all should be in Newton millimeter. That is equal to 0.4 into 20 into AC is equal to 0.99 kg plus 0.67 into 415 into AG is 0.01 AG. You can just calculate AG, or this is equal to AG into 8 into 0.99, 7.92, and this you can simplify. Point 0.84. So therefore, AG you can compute. I think it is 27,000 also.
Yes, sir.
How much?
No, sir.
In millimeter square.
3774.6.
How much? 37
3774.6.
point
62.
62 millimeter square. Only this much, are you sure?
Yes, sir. No, it's 0.4 into 20
No, it's
into
we
0.99.
calculate thoroughly. This will be 3 into 10
So
to
that
the
is
power of
7.92, right, sir?
Huh?
That is 7.92. 7.92.
7.92.
Yes, sir. I made a mistake.
Plus this
0.67 into 450. 0.01.
millimeter square. Then
Sir, 280.
Huh?
280360.
28.
80360.
Huh.
0.73.
Okay. This seems to be our, because this is.
So that is 7.92. I have taken 790.
So this is in millimeter square.
Yes, sir.
Now you have to proportion. You have to decide whether to go for rectangular column, circular column, or square column. That's also not specified. Generally, we'll go for either square or rectangular column, because we have, if at all it is subjected to movement, we have to just use ready-made chart. Ready-made charts are available only for rectangular and circular. So we have to decide as rectangular or square. So we will decide, let us provide rectangular column of size, you can say 450 by 600. So generally the width you can select ranging from minimum of 200 in steps of 50 mm, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, like that. Maximum around 600 or 800 you can go. Here we are going for a rectangular column. One we will keep larger size, another this. Otherwise we can take the square root of this and find only the size of the square column. That also you can do. If you are going for square, just take the square root of this, you will get the side of the square. Now I have arrived at this figure, because this figure comes to close to this, 27,000, close to this. So let us try with this. If at all this, though it is lesser than this, preferably we go for little bit lesser than that, we can play around with the steel. Steel area will be more, because anyway we have to go for multiple of 2 numbers or 4 number of bars only. Invariably it will be on the higher side. So here we select a little bit lesser side, but not too much difference, right? That you have to decide. So you cannot go for simply 1000 mm by 1000 mm, though it is safe, but you should not deviate that much. Anyway, you have to do that revision afterwards. So to start with only one step, you are doing these designs. So I will select this particular size. I have read the size. B is this, D is this. Now you check for minimum eccentricity because I have used this formula. This formula is applicable only for short column with minimum eccentricity criteria satisfied. That's very, very important. That is minimum eccentricity criteria 20 mm or that 0.05 that is automatically satisfied. Then only we can use this. That I am using as a trial to start with for axially loaded. No movement. That you have to satisfy. That you can check. If that is satisfied, decide only about the area of steel, provide that much number of bars, satisfying all those detailing requirement. That's all the steps you have to follow. Now I have arrived at this particular area. You check for the eccentricity. So minimum eccentricity equals L by 500 plus this is with respect to D. This is B, this is D, capital D. We use the same notation as we use. With respect to D, it is D by 30. That's what I have given you. So this L is unsupported length, not effective length. Effective length is not given at all. That I have avoided. It is unsupported length that I am using. That is 3 meters, 3000 by 500 plus D is 600 by 30. So this is 6 plus 20, 26 mm. Of course, this is definitely more than 20 mm. That is this is definitely more than 20 mm. Of course, that criteria is not satisfied, minimum eccentricity. Another criteria is attached. So that is E by D. E by D. E is 26, D is 600, this is
0.043.
3 less than 0.05. Okay. Anyone you have to satisfy. So that means whatever dimension you have assumed, that is not creating any movement. It is only axially loaded. Is it clear? All the points, whatever you have told, that you have to bear it in mind. Without remembering all those, no point in going for design. Other things are all very, very simple things. I am giving you the design. Next, you check with respect to minimum eccentricity with respect to B. With respect to B, that is L by 500 plus B by 30. Same thing. Both have to check. If you select square column, only one check. That's why I told you, all in your hand. By designing, go for square column. Then only one check may have to make it. So this is again 3000 divided by 500 plus
450 by 30.
this is 450 by 30.
21.
This is
21.
21, which is again of course slightly more than 20 mm. Otherwise that satisfies the E by B is 21 by 450
0.046.
0.46.
45.
See, actually this is more now. That's why I told you to check for both. Don't leave it at that stage. Otherwise, square column if you select, well, you are reducing one step here. Right? These are the points which you have to bear it in mind, you have to observe while designing. Because design purely in your hand, no uniform result, no single solution. It varies from person to person, how he decides. Right? So that you have to take care. So this is less than 0.05. So hence, simplified formula, given by code is valid. That is this simplified formula, it is valid, so there is no problem at all. It is purely axially loaded. Forget about uniaxial, biaxial moment. Because to start with, I don't know. That's why I told you, any column maybe has to be checked for moment as well as axial force. To start with, we will not be knowing. All depends upon arriving at the steel area as well as the concrete area. So that during the course of design only, we will come to know. Otherwise, in the beginning itself, unless it is given in the problem itself, design for this moment, design for this flow. Unless it is given, so you cannot just judge well before that. So next, let us find the steel area and complete the design. Therefore, area of steel, that already you have assumed. That's very simple calculation. 1% steel,
1%.
you have assumed that is equal to ASC, that is 1% of 450 into 600. That's why to start with you assume some suitable figure I told. So this comes to
2,700.
2,700.
700. Yes, sir.
Okay. Millimeter square. Units also have to be careful. So you go for number of bars and also go for whether it has to be arranged only on two parallel faces or distributed around the four edges. And decide about the type, show that by a suitable sketch that completes column design. Right? That much work, let us initiate. So let us use, let us provide the reinforcements, let us provide the reinforcements parallel, uniformly, let us place the reinforcement uniformly on all four sides using 20 mm dia bars. Right? So number of bars required is equal to the area is, I told you 20 mm dia bar, area is 314. So 2,700 divided by 314, it comes to
8.59.
Huh?
8.59. 8.59.
So 8.5. So let us provide 8 bars.
8.
That's good. So provide 8 numbers of 20 mm dia bars. Or we have to go for 12 dia bar, or go for 4 numbers 20 and 4 numbers 16. That also good. What is 4 numbers of 16 and 4 numbers of the 20? So if you go for 4 numbers of 20 dia and 4 numbers of 16, if you go all 4 inches,
Sir, if you go for
20 mm dia bars and 16 mm dia bars. So if I use 4 numbers of 20 mm dia bar and 4 numbers 16, so area is 4 into 314 plus 4 into 201.
2060.
20?
60.
This is less than that, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then go for that 4 numbers only. So whatever we have done earlier, that's okay. So let us provide rainbow uniformly using 8 numbers on all 4 sides, using 28 numbers, 8 numbers, 20 mm bar. So that is the bars are like that. Actually, we had to provide 4 bars at the 4 corners first. First we have to provide 4 bars at the corner. Then remaining 4, since we are distributing uniformly on the edges, we have to provide in between like this. We have to provide. So 8 numbers we have to provide. I am showing the arrangement satisfying all those particular criteria given here. So here, this particular thing is called effective cover. This is E dash effective cover, which is nothing but clear cover. Clear cover for main steel is 40 mm as per IS specification and half the size of bar. To the center of bar we are providing effective cover. 20 mm means half the size is 10. So it is 50 mm. So here also it is 50. So overall dimension here this is 450. Out of 450, 100 is gone. So this is 300. So out of 300 mm, now the spacing here, if I place this exactly at the center, this will be 150.
So that is 350.
100, 350. So it is 175.
175.
So 175 is definitely it won't satisfy our requirement. Now we have to provide 4 minimum number of bars all round like this, and we have to interconnect them by ties like this. One tie I have provided like this, covering these 4 bars. I have given sufficient support by the ties. What about these bars? These bars spacing will be more than 75 mm. It has to be held in position. So I have to use one more tie connecting these 4 bars like this. That is why. That's the reason. I have to use 2 lateral ties satisfying that requirement. The distance between any 2 bars should not be more than 75 mm. And also this spacing, overall spacing should not be more than 300. If at all it is more than 300, then you have to hold it in between also by providing open link. All those things you have to make sure. I have just shown the arrangement. I have used 8 bars of 20 dia like this using this type. Now I have to design the type. Design of type. So that's the last step. Design of types. So first we have to fix the size of type. Size of type should be first 5 mm. Second criteria, 1/4 of largest size of bar. That is equal to, which is the largest size of bar? Here is only all are same size, 20 mm. So you have to take as 1/4 of 20 is also 5 mm. So adopt 5 mm types. Adopt 5 mm types. Then what spacing? That I have to just decide. Because this in elevation, you will see these bars and these are the ties. is what spacing these ties should be. That is pitch of ties. It's called pitch of ties. There should be least of the following. One is least lateral dimension of column. What is the least lateral dimension of the column? 450 mm. Next, it is 16 times largest size of largest
320.
size of main steel, main longitudinal steel. That is 16 into 20, that is 320 mm. Then 48 times dia of tiles. Dia of tiles you have
Five.
fixed as
5.
5 mm, 48 times that 240 mm. Then fourth one 300 mm. So out of this, least is 240. You have to adopt pitch as 240. Adopt 5 mm lateral ties at 240 mm center to center. So your design is completed. You have fixed the size, you have fixed the main steel, arrangement of the main steel, satisfying all those codal provisions, and lateral ties also you have designed, and you are designing it as purely axially loaded column because it satisfies this minimum eccentricity. So many things I have told, but all the specifications you have to bear it in mind. We need not have to bother about any movement. Next, we will take up another 1 or 2 problems, problem on columns subjected to axial load as well as uniaxial moment, not satisfying this, and biaxial. So, and of course, long column, we will see that even if data is given for effectiveness, we see that L by D ratio will be less than 12. Like that, we select and end up with only shortcut. That completes your design of columns. So we'll work on the 2 problems maybe in the next class.